Peace. Welcome to Spearz and Micz. Today's episode, just gonna fly solo. You know, we originally had like a guest scheduled to be on today's episode, a special guest. We was gonna really dig into hip hop history and their history. Hopefully, we're able to pull that episode off. We've been striving to get everybody um on Spears and Mike's, like to be a guest, to talk about hip hop, to talk about the Zulu experience, to talk about maybe the Black Spades, the street organizations that all predated Zulu. We're trying to bridge the gap with all of these stories. There's a lot of gaps between the pioneers and the individuals that are teaching the culture or preserving the culture. So what we're striving to do with Spears and Mike's is really just bridge the gap from those stories. Kind of like in my experiences, right? I'm 44 years old. I've been Zulu for 27 years, and I've got to take in a lot of information. I got to meet a lot of pioneers in hip hop. I got to meet a lot of elders from the Spades, some of the originals, many of the originals. Legends, legendary people in the street organizations that were tied into Zulu or the Black Spades, allies, you know, um, revolutionaries, young lords, Black Panthers, Black Spades, Ghetto Brothers. Um, we've had the privilege to meet these people, know these people, and based on the things that I've taken in, um, throughout my 27 years, I strive to give that to the younger Zulus. There is a good amount of younger Zulus, maybe not as many, as much as I would like to. I wish we had a stronger, or bigger pool of young adults in the organization, in the Zulu Union, but we do have many, a lot, and a lot of good ones. And I always strive to tell them my experiences, good, bad, ugly, whatever I've been through, because, that's what this is about. It's about teaching, right? We always talk about each one, teach one. So it's important for these stories to be taught. It's important for the stories to be told. It's important for the stories to be learned and then also shared for the next generation. So with this, I want to not just talk about knowing these spades, knowing the Ghetto Brothers, knowing the pioneers, but having them here in a space virtually, and hopefully, inshallah, we can eventually get a studio, and that will happen, at some point, inshallah. We'll have a studio where we can comfortably record with, good equipment and stuff like that. But for right now, we'll do it virtually. Because we ain't got no bread, we ain't got no budget. This is all off the love. This is all off of our dime. We paying for everything ourselves, and we ain't making no money. And the goal really ain't even to make money. It's to generate the stories, bridge the gap, So I've experienced a lot of great, amazing things that have been very life-changing and very influential through my years as a youth, coming in at 17 years old because my desire is to get closer to hip hop because I'm an aspiring rapper, um, you know, just kind of like made me gravitate towards Zulu, right? And you become a part of it and you start to meet the pioneers, the people that you looked up to, and you basically rubbing shoulders with people, you greeting them, we're treating each other like brothers, and they don't even know you. And that's an amazing experience. I could see why, people become enamored or, they fall in love with the street gangs or the street organizations because sometimes when you're around people and you ain't have love from anybody, your family is not really functioning right, you're missing out on a father, you start to get love from people and it's life changing. And for me as a young man, it was life changing to go to Harlem and meet Zulus from all over New York City, all over the world really, and just greet people and hear their stories and hear their love for hip hop. And hear their love for the culture and drop knowledge. Me, I was like a sponge. At every meeting, I was taking in knowledge from the infinity lessons. And these infinity lessons were the guidelines. It was the manual to elevate. It was the manual that presented the knowledge itself, the knowledge of culture to the membership. And I took those lessons very serious. And in my day, the lessons were numbered, infinity lesson 1 through 7. And you received those infinity lessons 1 through 7, along with the history of the Zulu nation and hip hop history. And then you also received the 15 beliefs and the 20 laws of the organization. And there's actually more than 20 laws. I think there's like 46 laws. It's extended, like crazy ones, like you can't play Russian roulette, um, can't use harsh drugs, but they narrowed it down to 1 through 20. And those 1 through 20 were the most important laws. And when you came into Zulu, you had to know these things. You had to know the 20 laws verbatim. You have to speak it confidently, answer those questions, and also answer the history questions, like, what does Zulu mean, right? So when someone would say, what does Zulu mean? It means heavens. They would say, what does Amazulu mean? People of the heavens, right? They might say, what's law number one? Law number one is Zulu Nation is no gang. It's an organization of individuals in search of success, peace, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the righteous way of life, right? They might throw a random one out there like, what's law number 4? Zulus must learn the infinity lessons. That's one that I used to drop on a lot of youth, a lot of my young Zulus that came in under my chapter. I would tell them, what's law number 4? And they'd be like, most of them would know it because I would brush up on and practice and study. We would do the knowledge often in the ciphers, in the meetings. Um, but I used to get people with that pretty often. They'd be like, damn, I forgot that one. What is it, King? What is it? And I'm like, Zulus must learn the infinity lessons, right? And that's a law that kind of slaps you in the face because it's like, I'm asking you the laws and you don't know them, right? So, and now it's like Zulus must learn the infinity lesson. So this is like telling you this is a requirement to be a part of this. This is not optional. Um, so things like that, we used to get people on the beliefs. Um, we used to make people read the 15 beliefs, not read them, but we would make them read them. We would drop, what's law number 1? We believe in one God, which is called by many names: Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Elohim, Jah. We believe that this one God is the same being, um, you know, and we as Zulus will not fight over the name to call the creator of. So we used to like ask these questions and people used to know them. And there was a lot of people, man, that, I brought into Zulu that would know them like really well. They would know the whole 15 beliefs, they would know the 20 laws, they would know the history well. What year was the Zulu Nation founded? 1973. What year did it come into power? 1975. What were the names of Zulu Nation, of the Universal Zulu Nation before it was the Universal Zulu Nation, right? And, we used to go Savage 7, Black Spades, Zulu Nation, Almighty Zulu Nation, Universal Zulu Nation, and then now currently we would add on the Zulu Union. For us, that's the current formation of the family. That's to be disputed, by some of the members of UZN because, they still feel the organization is active. And, rightfully so, I understand that. But for us in the Zulu Union, that's what we say. Because for us, we're the younger membership, and we're striving to continue this. It's already been 8 years, right? And we've made a lot of progress as an organization, right? So that's what we talk. We include ourselves in that because we are Zulu. And the Zulu Union was formed by about 17 or 18 chapters originally in 2017, right? We broke away from the Universal Zulu Nation based on the Africa Bambaataa scandals at the time. We were striving to work through it as a collective, as a family. We were seeing a lot of people leave, and we had to make a decision to save the family and then moving in a different direction, separate ourselves. Um, so, that's for another story, we'll probably get into a little bit more details on that. With this Spears and Mike's, right? I try not to make it about politics, because to me, although I'm solidified in my position as a member of the Zulu Union, I don't like to disrespect anybody that may have a difference of opinion. If there are people that are a part of the Universal Zulu Nation, I don't want them to feel alienated or feel that we're talking bad about them. Even though I may not necessarily support their stance in the organization, because to me, the UZN is tied to Africa Bambaataa, right? And really, in my book, we see it as it's important to make a distinction between ourselves and Africa Bambaataa. And that's no, this is not something personal. This is like something that it has to be done because we can't be tied to that story. We can't be tied to what he's done and what has taken place historically by him. But we wanted to keep the name, because we've spent 20 plus years a part of the organization. Many of us have been with the organization for 30. Some of us have been with the organization a little bit more than 30 years, right? And I just want to make this clear to everybody. You know, um, we still respect many of the elders, many of the pioneers, but sometimes you got to love people from the distance, because there's some that, took, they went out of their way to like kind of discredit us in the Zulu Union, saying that it was a power grab, saying that it was like, basically us fighting for a position. And that's not the case because we don't do this for money. We don't do it for power because we already have power. We were already at the top of the Universal Zulu Nation. I was already a regional director, a lead East Coast regional director of the UZN, well on my way to being a part of the World Council. So there really wasn't much left for me to achieve in the organization. Um, but I do love uh, the history of the Universal Zulu Nation, and deep down in my heart, I do love the UZN. I just can't be a part of something that is tied to such a negativity that took place. It's overwhelming, and it was a lot of drama and a lot of pain. And I think it would have consumed many of us and put us down a very bad path. It divided a lot of people, and I don't want to continue to stay divided in the sense that, um, like we think we're better than them or we're stronger. Um, we're just striving to stay positive and take the good aspects that we learned, build on that, and keep pushing it forward. And this video is kind of like a little bit all over the place, but I got a lot on my mind because there's always constantly a lot going on in this organization. Um, and I want to say like this time of year right now, right? Um, I think it's like the 7th. Yeah, it's the 7th, November 7th, right? Tomorrow's the 8th. This weekend would have most definitely been the Zulu anniversary celebration, which would have been a 3 or 4 day event. Um, and that was my favorite time of the year. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That was a time of year where every year I would take, my a 1 week vacation for that. This is when I was younger. I would go take the week off from work because I know I was going to either be on post doing Shaka Zulu duty at the anniversary, right? So I would get my gear, my clothes, my fatigues, my medallions. I'll probably go stay at my grandmother's in Sumner houses in Brooklyn. That way I could just take the J train to Manhattan or the G train, you know what I mean? And that was kind of my little ritual. Um, and it was something that I looked forward to dearly. And then as I became a man, I was still taking off every, November 12th around that weekend to celebrate the Zulu anniversary. Me and the brothers from my chapter, we used to take limos. We used to take party buses with all the members, go up to, wherever the event was, whether it be the National Black Theater, the Kennedy Center, the New Yorker Hotel, um, wherever it was. The Zulu anniversary was always like in a different spot every year. Um, but it was the best time of year for us, right? Because we would get to see all the Zulus from the different chapters around the world, the Australian chapter, the chapter from Holland, the chapter from Belgium, the Zulus from Italy, shout out to Queen Leva. Um, you know, it was great, man. It was great to go there and feel the love, bump into the Zulus from Seattle, Washington, 206 Zulus. It was great to be around hundreds of Zulus from all these different chapters in New York City, your closest beloved brothers, you know what I'm saying? Going up there, mobbed up, music playing, everybody having a good time, nobody acting up. We in the building with all the Zulus, the young ones, the older ones, the elders, the pioneers. We doing security. Um, we're doing security for all the dopest hip hop artists. Yo, go cover Fat Joe, go cover KRS-One, um, go cover Dress from Black Sheep. You know, um, you know, so and so walked in. Hold him down. Beanie Siegel, hold Beanie Siegel down. Um, these are experiences that I'll never forget. And I miss them. I miss them, and it's a shame, what took place. My heart goes out to the survivors, you know. But I really, really miss the good old days, man. Because it was nothing like it. As I became a man, I used to bring my wife to these events, and now I'm a father, and I always thought that I was gonna bring my seeds to these events, like some of the other brothers. I'm late in the game with the parenthood, had my first seed at 39. But I always envisioned my children coming up and getting to experience true hip hop culture with the pioneers, with the Zulus. And I really didn't get to experience that, but I got to experience a lot, and I'm grateful for, being around all the Zulus at the time, bumping into my beloved brothers from all the chapters. This is something that it is, it's overwhelming. Um, Not even just the what's going on right now, in general, like being a part of this organization, it's overwhelming. So many different characters, so many different unique people, so many amazing, talented individuals in this. And it being from the motherland of Zulu, being from New York City, and just being around Brooklyn and bumping into random Zulus, being in Manhattan, bumping into random Zulus all over the place. Um, was a dope experience, being at the Ninth Avenue Festival in Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan with my peoples and bumping into aliens, being at Times Square for, you know, like the ball dropping for New Year's and bumping into aliens and natives, being at the Puerto Rican Day Parade and bumping into a mob of natives, a mob of Chapter 18, a mob of aliens, a mob of Gestapos. These were things like, we used to be at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, you know, 100 deep, easy. We used to chill with the Nietas, sometimes we would march with them, walk down with them, you know, um, the Puerto Rican Day Parade was cool, but then it kind of became out of control, kind of became like a gang parade, where it was all about, representing your organization. You know, um, you would have the Latin Kings would be mad deep at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, stupid deep, hundreds. The Nietas would be there, mad deep. Shout out to the Nietas, one of our closest allies. in the streets back then, and very much respected and bonded with the Nietas to this day. We had a big bond in New York City with at one time with the Latin Kings, Nietas and Zulus, the Five Percenters as well. You know, in the early '90s, that was a pretty big bond. Um, but sometimes those things part ways because when everyone gets really big in their respective communities, jealousy, and we start involving ourselves in each other's business, and sometimes it's not a good thing. Um, but yeah, man, November 12th, man, we was in the Zulu anniversary, rolling deep. And I miss it dearly. And I just want to tell the people that's tuned in to Spears and Mike's that if you feel like, you have interest or want to know more about Zulu Union and what it is, and if you feel like you're connected or you feel like you're a part of hip hop culture, or you want knowledge, you want brotherhood, sisterhood, you want a family to be support you. There's a lot of resources that we give as an organization. I think the thing you will see most is love. Joining our organization, you're gonna feel love, you're gonna feel direction, you're gonna feel support. Um, if you're lucky enough to have a chapter in your city, I'm sure that chapter would embrace you and would teach you the culture, teach you how to be Zulu, teach you how to be a better man, a better woman, teach you how to be an all around greater being. That's what we strive for. Um, so, if you feel like you want more information, you can reach out to me at ZuluKingL at Gmail. That's ZuluKingel at Gmail. Um, we have chapters all over the nation. We have chapters all over Central and South America. We have a chapter in Europe. We do have a chapter in Africa. We have a couple of chapters formulating in Asia. So we have reach probably all over the globe. Most likely, we could probably, get it going in your community, in your state, in your country, in your region. Um, but, especially if you live here in America, we will have the resources to support your efforts. Maybe you want to build a chapter of the Zulu Union. Maybe you have a vision. Maybe you already have a hip hop organization in your community and you want to turn it as into a chapter. You can still keep that identity of your organization. You'll just merge it into the Zulu Union. You'll take, a name or a chapter number and make it happen. If you're qualified, if you're qualified to lead and you have your references checked and you're shown to be reliable and genuine, you fill out the application and you get approved, you could be a part of this family. It's probably one of the best things that I did. Some of my most dear beloved friends to this day are people in the organization, whether it be childhood friends or people that I've met along the way, people that I love, people that I rely on are a part of this. And there's no turning back for me. That's why when all of this took place and people were leaving, resigning from post, resigning from the nation, I said, well, I'm never gonna resign. I'm Zulu forever. I have it written here on my arm. I don't know, I wouldn't want to cover that. And I mean, I regret all my tattoos. I wish I didn't have no tattoos on me. Um, you know, but I have them. And there's nothing I could do. I can't go away. I won't go away. And I'm not going to stop being a part of this. I'm going to continue to work hard to be the best leader I can be. I'm not perfect. I'm flawed, like every other man is, but I'm striving for greatness. I'm striving for this to be something incredible for many years to come, for generations to come. So if you find it in your heart or you feel compelled to learn more, reach out to me on that email, ZuluKingL at gmail.com, or hit me up on Facebook, Zulu King L. Um, Reach out on the ZuluUnion.com website. You could also go on SpearsandMikes.com, or drop a comment on the video and let's connect through there. You know, um, everybody that's tuned in to Spears and Mikes, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the likes, the comments. Um, I really, really, want to continue, you know, getting together with my co-host and giving y'all a little bit about hip hop culture, a little bit of that knowledge, and a little bit of the streets as well. We want to tie it all together and bridge the gap, So stay tuned to Spears and Mikes, hit the like, hit the subscribe, drop a comment, especially if you want to connect with me, build with me, learn more, even if it's to say, yo, I just want to learn. Teach me, L1, teach me the culture. I will be honored to teach you whatever I know, you know, but I will be most honored to call you my brother, to call you my sister in the Zulu Union. So, let's make it happen. Let's build up the Zulu Union. Let's build up hip hop culture. Let's build up our communities across the world, man. Let's unify in a time when many seem divided. Let's raise our youth to love themselves. Let's raise our youth with the right information and the right tools to build themselves up to be productive members of society so that they don't fail, so that they don't fall short, right? We could do this together as a collective. We could do it together through Zulu. We can do it together by building an alliance between your organization and our organization. So we do that as well. Um, whether it be the Young Lords, whether it be the Panthers, whether it be the NOI, whether it be the people from the church, whether it be the people from the masjid. If you're striving for righteousness and you're striving to uplift your community, if you're striving to uplift humanity, let's get together and let's form a bond, let's form an alliance, and let's move as one. You know what I'm saying? It's important with so much distractions going on in television, with people fighting over politics, people fighting over religion, people separating their family because one person's a liberal, one person's a conservative, and now we got families divided where they don't even want to be together because they're scared to talk politics, they're scared to start arguing, they're scared to start cursing each other out. And then you got family members disassociating themselves from one another. And if we don't have a strong family, right, how could we have love, right? Family is love. Family is a strength. Family is a bond that it's a building block. It's a foundation for everything. So if we don't have that, how can we have success? How can we have peace? How can we have the things that we're striving for in life if the home isn't right? Maybe your home isn't right. Maybe you lack something. Maybe you lack a positive role model. Maybe no one is giving you jewelry. Nobody's giving you guidance. Nobody's giving you knowledge and wisdom. Maybe the Zulus can provide that. Maybe we can do it together as a family and change the world. That's quite possible. So I'll end it here. I don't want to go and start preaching too much. I'd rather teach than preach. Um, and I'd rather build with you on the phone or personally, face to face, and really talk about making these changes to improve us as a people. So, with that being said, once again, I'm Zulu King L1 from the Zulu Union, particularly chapter 25. Peace and love to all the chapters. Peace and love to all the brothers and sisters that are listening to this podcast, that are viewing this video. Drop that like, drop that subscribe, drop a comment and let me know that my words were felt. Drop a comment and tell me, yo, reach out, brother, let's build. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Peace and love, big respect, big positive energy for everybody. Happy Hip Hop History Month. Go do the knowledge. Go watch some videos on the pioneers. Start learning about all the elements. Celebrate that Hip Hop History Month. Get well to Buckshot Shorty from Black Moon and Boot Camp Click. And salute and peace to all the Zulus.